Hi, this is Danny Jerabek here with Awards Radar. I am very excited to have with me today Asif Ali and Saagar Shaikh, stars of the Hulu series Deli Boys. Thank you both so much for joining me. It's an absolute pleasure to have you with me today.
Oh yeah,
Thank you so much.
it's Asif and Saagar.
Yeah.
Asif and Saagar, thank you.
Yeah, you got it.
I,
You got it. You got it.
I love the show. I think you guys are just incredible in it. And I was super excited to be able to interview you both together because I feel like the dynamic you guys have in the series really calls for having this interview together as well. So,
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. Generally, we don't like to interview together. We made a special exception. No, no, no.
Yeah, we're a bit of divas. We only
Yeah.
I want the whole 30 to myself, Danny.
yeah. Well, like I said, congratulations on the show.
Thank
It's so
you.
funny. I
Thank you so
really
much.
really enjoyed it. I also am a Philadelphia native,
Hell
Oh,
so
no
all of
way.
the
yeah.
Philadelphia lore and everything that you guys talk about in this series just really hits close to home. So,
You know,
Hopefully
it's
not
funny.
too close. Were
A
you
lot of
dealing cocaine, Danny? What's going on with you?
a lot of Philly people have reached out to me and been like, I love all the Philly jokes. And
yeah.
as someone who has I've been to Philly one time and it's just like I drove through it. Uh,
Mm.
I didn't even know we were making Philly jokes when we were making Philly jokes. I had to ask Abdullah, the whole time. And yeah, I was actually surprised at how many people reached out and how many people from
Hmm.
Philly felt represented in it.
Yeah, I do stand up and I've been to Philly a bunch. And this time around, the last time I was in Philly was like, yeah, there was like a chunk of people who are like, man, they're like, man, it's so cool. There's not many shows that are about Philly, although Philly is having a bit of
It's having a
a
moment.
moment
Yeah. Yeah.
with It's Always Sunny and Abbott and
Hmm.
us. So I love the idea of a
And the Super
Phillyverse
Bowl.
and a Super Bowl. I do love the idea of a Phillyverse, but yeah, I loved that it was a show not about, as much as I love New York and LA, I love shows that, are in places that aren't that.
hmm
And you get to deal with the specificity and the uniqueness of those places.
Yeah, like a little bit of a deeper cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I'm very curious to hear what about this script, this project, the creators involved really attracted you guys to this.
Yeah, well, I first read the script back in April of 2022. So like 4 or 5 months before they even started casting. And I read it. My old agent sent it to me, and he was like, "Hey, here's something. I don't know if you'd be interested in it." And I read it, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm interested in this." Are you kidding me? I remember reading it, and it was the first time that I was able to like see myself playing both lead characters. And I finished it, and then I like started it again. I read it like 3 times straight up, and it was the best script I had ever read. And I, was in the process of finding new representation at the time, and I ended up signing with my current agent. And she told me, she's like, "Hey, you mentioned this script in our meeting, and I want to let you know that I happen to rep the guy that wrote it. Should I set up a meeting?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, set up a meeting." I met Abdullah, and it was like it was like a long lost brother. I immediately loved him, and I had to be a part of this project because of the script that this guy wrote from his brilliant mind and the amount of love that was there in our first meeting. I found a brother in Abdullah and also in Asif.
I mean, it was such a fun time making the show from like the first day. I think the um for me, I've been doing this for a little while now, and for like a large chunk of my career, me and my friend Will Greenberg, who was in the show, Wrecked, we would refer to ourselves as the pilot killers jokingly, because we would always just do pilots, and then they would be good and then they would go nowhere. And and so when I saw this pilot, I was like, oh. I mean, I've done pilots that are like, you do sometimes you do projects and day one, like, oh, this is just a paycheck. There's no way this is gonna go anywhere. This is a piece of shit. And then there's other times you do stuff where you go, this is too interesting And it's also probably not going to get picked up because this is so unlike anything you've ever done. And so when I saw the script for this, when I read it, I was like, I mean, it would be awesome to be a part of this. But I mean, I don't know if this would, I would love to make a show like this, but it almost seems too cool and too interesting and too like never been done before with people that look like us in this genre. You're introducing a whole group of people that have never really had like a foothold in this genre in a whole show, and we're leading it. It's not some sort of show where it's like a white guy joins the South Asian mob, and then we're seeing it through his lens kind of thing. It's like, no, 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 it's these guys, dealing with this kind of thing. So to me, it was like, man, wouldn't this be amazing? And I would love to be any part of it. That would be so fun. But I was just like, I mean, it would be insane if they actually made this like the whole season.
I remember when we were on set for the pilot, me and Asif
Yeah.
were talking about just this. And I remember you were like, dude, like this is too good to be true. It's not going to go. It's not going to go. We're going to shoot a pilot. And I remember feeling so naive at the time because I was like, man, this was the first pilot that I ever booked, right?
Mm.
And then you were like, dude, I've booked so many. And you told me that, you call yourself the pilot killer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then I was like, damn, dude, like I took a deeper thought and I was like, he's probably right. Like this is too niche. This is like it's so specific. And most pilots don't end up going, right?
Hmm.
Most of them get pulled. And I remember feeling so naive. Um, but look who was naive now.
I know, and I'm so glad I was wrong. I mean, the whole time we were shooting the show, I was, it was that thing of like, I so hope that I'm wrong because we had such a fun time working on it, and the project itself, I think, far exceeded what was on the page
100%.
from what we initially wrote, and so it really felt like a dream situation, and and so for me to be wrong was truly the best news. I've never been more excited to be wrong in my entire life, and I
And
hope,
Asif, if you were
yeah.
to ask him, he's never wrong.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. I famously walk around and tell people I'm not wrong,
Yeah.
apropos of them asking me anything.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm a really good hang, Danny. And but yeah, it really does feel, the entire time we were shooting the pilot, we felt like this is crazy. Like, can you believe we're even doing this? Can you believe we're in an all South Asian mob comedy that has gore and violence and isn't just about us being South Asian? Can you believe we're even doing this? And then that got, if you can imagine, that feeling got, elevated tenfold,
Exponentially.
exponentially, because we're like, now we're making 9 more episodes. Like, we're actually making this, and this is going to actually be out. And that feeling, by the way, was not just us. It was the entire cast, and it was the entire crew, and it was the entire, like, everybody involved with the show knew and felt like we were doing something very unique and special, and that kind of energized and I think kept us excited and like giving 1,000% the entire time.
And mind you, we finished the pilot just months before the writer's strike happened. So,
Hmm.
and then there was a double strike. So
Hmm.
we legitimately were like, hey, man, it was nice working with you. Because
It was nice
we,
knowing you.
it was nice knowing you because we thought that, like, if we just got picked up for a pilot and we're thinking about this, like, oh, we're so niche, we're so specific that we might not get picked up. And then the double strike happens. We're like, oh, yeah, we're chopped, we're done, we're cooked. Right.
Yeah.
And to I think everybody's surprise, and we were only expecting to get 8 episodes if we did get picked up. But I
Hmm.
think our pilot far exceeded everybody's expectations. That they're like, "Oh, we want to see 10. Let's order 10."
Yeah.
And that was like so shocking to us. We were really excited, and yeah, I mean, we really went in and we gave it truly 110% in every sense of the way.
Yeah. Just the most grateful group of people I have ever worked with, both for the reasons of, oh my God, this project is so cool and we're just so lucky to be making it, but also like, damn, dude, I don't even know if TV will exist TV and film will exist. So we got to just make sure that we make the best project we ever make,
Yeah.
because this show, they deleted it. It doesn't even exist. You can't even find it anymore. So it's just like, during that time, they're just deleting shows. Like, I was just like, what the hell is going on right now? So to go back and to work on a show like this with these people and this crew, and with the type of executives and leaders that we had, who were just absolute cheerleaders for the product, I think is why um, the show has come out and has been received in the way it is, because it really does translate how much joy and excitement and just all out effort we were putting in to make this show. Whether that effort was necessary or not, I sprained my ankle, he got a concussion. Were they necessary? Probably not. But that's just how much we were willing
We were
to.
going ham.
We were going crazy. I was like, we're going to put a Tom Cruise level of effort in this. And they're like, well, it's a comedy. I don't think you really need to do that. And we're like, well, I'm going to.
Yeah. Oh,
And
I have to run. I'm gonna run
So next
so fast.
season, which one of you is hanging off the side of a plane is the
I would do
question.
it. I
I
would
would do it.
one
I would
thousand
do it.
percent do it. Yeah,
And you
but
know what?
it's a
I
Spirit
kept
Airlines flight to Philadelphia.
I uh I kept fighting really hard to do all my own stunts,
Yeah,
and they were like, "Sagar, you got a concussion doing your laundry."
yeah, yeah. By the way, his accident wasn't even on set. Mine at least was on set.
Oh, I love you guys. This is a blast. I wanna ask about that genre specificity and the
Yeah.
specificity of the show in general that you guys alluded to. Cigar, you mentioned kind of seeing yourself in both characters and wanting to play both characters and being able to represent a South Asian family who is part of a crime mob. Like this is not a type of show that we really feel like we've seen before. So I
Mhm.
want to hear from you guys, like what that kind of meant to see that happen and be a part of it unfolding.
I mean, it was huge, right? Because okay, so when I first met with Abdullah, I kind of went in and I did the boldest thing I ever did, which was like ask a creator of a show. I pitched myself. I was like, I want to play Raj. Like I was born to play this part, right? And he was like, "Oh man, I actually wrote that part for myself, but I could totally see you as Amir." And I was like, "Well, you know what? I've been both of these people before in my life, and I just want to be a part of this project at any capacity. So absolutely, 100%, I could play for Amir, right?" And so when the auditions were happening, I got, I read for it. I got a call back. I got a producer director session, and then I tested. And then after that, I get a call from my team, and they're like, they made an offer to somebody, and I was like, "Is it Asif Ali?" And they were
Yeah,
like,
you're damn right it was.
"That's what they said." Yeah, they were like, "Yeah, it is." And I'm like, "Fuck, man, again." This must be the 20th time that this guy has that I've gotten this call, and it's because of this guy. And so I was like, well, all right. Well, I gave it my best, and I did. I went through every back door, every corner that I could have possibly gotten, and the better man got the job. And
Oof.
then maybe 3 hours later, I get a call from my team saying, "Hey, we have news. It's not good news, but it's not bad news. It's just news. And the news is that Abdullah has pulled out of playing Raj, and he's going to focus on the writing and the producing. So now they're casting for Raj, and because they liked you so much for Mir, they want to read you for Raj because they've only seen you as Mir before, so they want to read you. They're not going to make a straight up offer." And I was like, "Okay, I can, I'll take that. I can, work with that." So then I had maybe I think like 48 hours to work on the Raj audition, whereas for Mir I had like 3 weeks.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, yeah. And so I read for Raj and I did it, and I was straight to callback or straight to producer director session. I don't remember. And then I got asked to screen test and do a chemistry read, and that is the first time that me and Asif ever met.
And by the way, Danny, this is all over Zoom.
Yeah, we met on Zoom for the first time, and so yeah, we did it, and we immediately had like this good
Yeah.
back and forth, this chemistry, and yeah, I got the offer to play Raj, and then me and Asif met for the first time in person on set, or
On set.
like 2 days before set at a rehearsal.
Just
Uh,
crazy.
insane. And yeah, I mean, it was just, like I talk about it like it was yesterday because it feels like it, but it was about 3 years ago. Where we
I
shot
have
the pilot.
no concept of time anymore.
Truly,
Everything feels like yesterday and also 35 years ago at the same time.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, the absolutely most special heartbreak of my life was learning that I didn't get Mir, because it led me to get the part that I actually wanted to play,
The one
and
you originally had sort of pitched.
the one that I was gunning for,
Full
and
circle.
to have me, Asif, and Abdullah working together on the same project, focusing on different parts of the show.
Hmm.
Um, but like, I just felt like, including Purna and Brian and Alfie and all the guest stars, we just had like so Nandika, the one that plays Nandika, Amita Rao,
Amita,
who just
yeah,
has her new show Adults on, which is
on
also
FX, yeah.
fantastic.
Hmm.
Just like the combination of all of us, it was just like this special, let's put it in a box, shake it up, throw it out, and see what we get. It was
Yeah,
so
because
beautiful.
casting is so fast that, you're basically just guessing. You're like, okay, you could be like, I like this guy. This guy's good, but even if we do a chemistry test, it's like they don't know how I'm or he's going to get along with everybody else. You know what I mean? And how our acting styles will mesh with each other, our senses of humor, both, and how we work on set and how we get together off set. I mean, there is a real factor that is incalculable. You know what I mean? That is a real chance and risk you're taking, a gamble in putting all these people together and hoping that what will happen is they'll all meld together and all fall in line and underneath the same mission, which is to elevate and execute this singular vision of what this show is, and to make something that again is better than what was on paper.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, and like, credit to Seth Yankowitz, who was our casting director,
yeah,
because like he
get
went
these
above
group
and
of
beyond,
people.
out of his way to find, the just not just the right people for the job, but also demographically.
Yeah.
He found authentic on this on the, he found authenticity in his casting,
Hmm.
and he did the work that I feel like most casting directors um don't necessarily, they find something that is close enough
Yeah, and the vibe, I
looking
feel
wise.
like the entire time on the show and every department and everybody that worked on the show was uh everybody was going the extra mile. There was a sense of investment and care into the project. To like what Sagar is saying, like the amount of extra work and research and depth and trying to find people that will elevate the show and not just like, hey, these people are here, just use these people. And
Yeah.
that goes to every department. To Kaylee, our costume designer, like her going the extra mile of like not only consulting with us but then everybody else and finding designers that make culture specific clothing, and then also fitting in with the sort of mob theme and then our own individual characters, and then bringing us in and really valuing our input.
Mm-hmm.
And Sagar and Purna had these great suggestions of designers that are like from Pakistan that she should consider, and then she reached out to them, and then they're like, even them being like, you have a show that's about South Asian people in the mob, and then I'll make you these outfits for free.
Yeah,
Like there's this
like
level of investment.
what costume designer, what wardrobe department does that? Like, I've never worked on a set where the costume designer like values our input and like asks us questions so that they can do their job better. Um, a lot of times everybody just kind of stays in their own lane.
Yeah.
But there was such a camaraderie on set. There was such a it was the most collaborative set I have ever been on,
One
from
thousand
from
percent.
every single department,
Yeah.
consulting
Yeah.
with every single department, consulting with us with Abdullah, like we were almost like not only were we all the actors, but we were also like consulting every department to make sure we get it right.
And vice versa. Every department, there was an openness of like,
Yes.
sometimes you'll work on a thing and they'll be like, "Oh, I don't want to step on someone's toes," and blah 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 blah.
But they were
This
open
was
to it.
very much, yeah, this was very much like, "Hey, if you're in this department and you have a question, just go ask them."
Yeah, and they were all
Or,
open to you're not stepping on my toes. Like we're
mhm,
learning from this so that we could be better at our job for this job and for future jobs because you know historically we're not used to being represented properly,
mhm, mhm.
and I think we are now entering a phase in I guess in our bubble in this world because
Yes.
I, I can't speak for the whole industry, but I do know that there are a lot of people that want to get it right and
Hmm.
don't want to stereotypically represent us. So they're asking us for our advice and they're opening to listening, which is a huge step up from any moment in history in this industry.
And specifically the working in the sort of mob genre, I think was so cool. Both in just reading the script, it immediately pops at you, but also having this feeling of like, man, we're doing a hard comedy in this genre that, these things have in the Venn diagram, South Asians and the mob genre have never like crossed over. So being able to be a part of this sort of first time these things have crossed over in sort of mainstream American, entertainment was just like so special. And then knowing that this wasn't just some sort of like, hey, Abdullah went into a meeting and some executive was like, hey, we want a mob show about South Asian people, go write it kind of thing. But to know that it actually came from a very genuine place of Abdullah
Mm-hmm.
being like, he genuinely loves the genre. He loves Sopranos. He loves Breaking Bad. He loves The Wire. He loves these genre things. And then also his background working in drugs at Vice and stuff, getting firsthand experience and knowledge, knowing that these sort of quote unquote model minority communities are just as fucked up as every other community in the world, and being like, hey, this is something that's never been seen before. Why don't I blend this with this and make a show that ultimately, and this is like the sort of through line with all shows I think that are fun to watch or are good or great, is that it was something that the creator legitimately wanted to see on TV themselves.
Yeah, and by the way, Abdullah didn't write this show to make a show. He
Mhm.
wrote this. He wrote the pilot just to try to get a writing job,
Just to get staffed on something.
just to get staffed on something. And Jenny Connor happened to see it. He had a meeting with her. It was a part of his packet. It was a spec script, and he sent it to her, and she read it, and she's like, "Abdullah, this is the show. This is the show." And so she bought it, and then they pitched it out together, and it took 21 meetings, 21 pitch meetings until it sold, and that was to Onyx.
Until Onyx took it, and they've been such champions of us for the entire time. Tara Duncan, our executive there, came to set, which is so rare. Not only,
Yeah.
I mean, set visits are not rare, but the way the set visit was like staying during an all-nighter, sitting on the ground with us.
Truly
You know what
sitting
I
on the
mean?
floor.
Because there
Yeah,
were too many people by the
were
monitor.
rapping.
Like, yeah.
People were rapping at 3, 4 p.m. Like
Their series, yeah,
their
like
series rap.
the season rap.
And
Sorry, the season rap. And
the
so,
season rap, yeah. And God forbid it's a series rap.
no, we're not saying
But
that.
yeah. It was a season rap.
Season.
People were rapping at 3, 4 p.m. and staying till 11 p.m. because they wanted to be there as long as they could. And it's just the most special thing I have ever been a part of, and maybe
Same.
will ever be a part of. I don't know. I hope not, but
I hope that this is a thing that we continue every year to interview with you about, Danny. And each year we get more and more work done, and you have a harder and harder time not bringing it up because now we'll be on season 10 of Deli Boys, and you'll be interviewing us, and our faces look insane.
yeah, we are busted.
We
I
are bust
I
like
have
we both
10
look like
more
melted
concussions.
candles. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in a
This is
full
what
body
I
cast. Yeah.
this is what I envision for the next decade of our collective lives together. Uh, Thank you guys so much. This is an absolute blast. It is so cool to hear too about just the special environment that you guys helped curate and helped collaborate on because I think it really shows in the quality of the series and likewise completely hope that this continues and we get to see more from both of you.
Yeah, and
And can I
also
say
shout
something?
out and
Yeah, shout out.
congratulations to
Porna
Porna
Jagannathan.
for
Yes,
winning a
yeah,
Gotham Award.
this is true. Yes. Amazing. I'm sure it was great to have her as a scene partner because she's great.
Oh, the
The
best.
best.
The
The best.
best.
Yeah. Asif, what were we gonna say?
I know that there is an award for this, but I think I'll say this. I think our show has the best facial hair of any comedy on TV.
That's true. That's
I'd
true.
vote for it. I'd vote
Yeah,
for
So
it.
yeah, yeah. Honestly, this chat in and of itself.
we're doing some real work.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Oh no, this is so much fun. Again, congratulations on the show. Thank you so much for the time. Really
Hey,
appreciate
Danny.
it. And
Thank you so
totally,
much.
totally hope I get to do this with you guys again soon for many more seasons.
I feel
We
good about it,
as
and
do
I'm
we.
never wrong.
Have a good one, guys.
You
All right,
too,
later,
Danny. Thank you
Danny.
so
See
much.
ya.